Tonight, our EcoSPIES cameras will travel from Panama through the eastern tropical Pacific to profile an environmentalist whom some have called a terrorist in his quest to save marine mammals from extinction. We'll meet this man who invaded Soviet soil to prevent illegal whaling, stared down the barrel of a Soviet warship, and was jailed in Canada for stopping the slaughter of baby seals. Tonight, you will meet Captain Paul Watson, founder of the Sea Shepherd Conservation Society. Captain Watson has sunk 7 pirate whalers and rammed 4 drift netters and 1 tuna boat. In doing so, he has saved countless dolphins and whales. To some, his methods may appear unsound. Tonight, you decide for yourself. This is why they call Paul Watson a terrorist. His ship, the Sea Shepherd, has just rammed a Japanese fishing vessel drift netting in the North Pacific. The drift netter is crippled and heads back to port. Captain Watson says such drift netters are strip mining the oceans, destroying hundreds of species of mammals, fish, and birds. Another Japanese drift netter in the North Pacific. A Taiwanese drift netter off the coast of Trinidad. And these 2 pirate whalers sunk by the Sea Shepherd off the coast of Iceland. Watson has also fought this battle on land. Here, he and a colleague invade Canadian soil to prevent an icebreaker from clearing the way for sealers, men who kill baby seals for their valuable fur. Later, Watson is beaten by the sealers and jailed by Canadian authorities. His crime, spraying the seals with a harmless dye, making their pelts unmarketable. Paul Watson says his actions are justified.
All around us out here is incredible violence, incredible killing, extermination of species, pollution of the oceans, and yet anytime an environmentalist rises up and intervenes, that is construed as violence. So, as for accusations of violence and us being violent, frankly, I couldn't give a damn.
What violence is Watson talking about? What killing and extermination of species? Japanese fishermen pulling sharks out of the ocean, slitting their spinal cords, cutting off their fins for shark fin soup, and then tossing the crippled sharks back into the ocean. Or this, dolphins trapped in the fishing nets of a Mexican tuna boat, mutilated, then thrown back into the ocean. Or this, an annual sporting event for the people of the Faroe Islands, a Danish protectorate off the European coast. They slaughter whales, thousands of them every year. It's a sport like baseball or football. Captain Watson has been called a terrorist for stopping this.
Actually, it can all be summed up, you know. If you destroy the works of man in our society or our culture, then you're called a vandal or a villain or a criminal or a terrorist. But if you destroy the works of God, the works of nature, well, then we have other names in our society for people that loot, rape, and pillage the works of nature. We call them businessmen or loggers or fishermen.
Our EcoSPIES cameras came on board as the Sea Shepherd and her sister ship, named after Watson's friend, environmentalist and author Edward Abbey, traveled through the Panama Canal up toward the Gulf of Mexico, searching for enemies of the environment. Big or small, from a Japanese fishing vessel to a lone renegade fisherman, Captain Watson spots several boats fishing illegally in a wildlife preserve 300 miles off Costa Rica. From her adversaries, the Sea Shepherd can be a menacing sight with her kill flags proudly displayed. The razor-sharp can opener is poised to slice open the hulls of environmental opponents.
Announce to them now, this is the Sea Shepherd 2. We're a marine conservation vessel. Notify them that they're fishing illegally and must stop.
Somos un barco de marine conservación, barco de marine conservación.
Okay, I'm going to take us right behind them now. Right behind them. I want them to think they're going to get rammed.
Si no, vamos a chocar.
Su barco con nuestro barco. Estoy vine a pescar, me hace falta llamar.
Just when you get it, Jimmy.
But there will be no ramming today. With smaller renegade boats, Watson uses a more measured response.
They got the message.
The Sea Shepherd continued this campaign to save marine life for 2 more weeks, finally docking in San Pedro, California. There, Captain Watson and I had the opportunity to discuss a number of issues. First, charges that he is a terrorist. A lot of authorities call you a terrorist. How do you respond?
Well, the terrorists are out there destroying the planet. They call us the radicals and the terrorists and the militants and the extremists. We're the conservatives. We're trying to conserve life on this planet. The radicals, the terrorists, they're the ones that are running nations and destroying the wilderness.
Well, why do you continue to risk your life with this commitment?
This is a very pivotal generation. We're involved in a third world war, the war to save the planet itself. And future generations are going to look back if we survive as a species, and they're going to condemn us or damn us for what we have done to them.
Or what we failed to do, really.
Yeah, what we've stolen from them. In fact, the one thing I can say about being an environmentalist is we represent the majority of human beings, because we represent all of those billions of people who have yet to be born over the next million years. And although environmentalists may be a nuisance and a pain in the rear end to the establishment today, we'll make damn good ancestors.
What is the responsibility of today's generation to future generations, in your opinion?
I don't say that people have to spike trees or ram whaling ships or strangle Exxon executives to be environmentalists. All they have to do is do what they do best, if they're writers or journalists or teachers or builders. But the only difference is that they do it for the future. They do it for the earth, and no longer for themselves. No longer, what's in it for me, but what's in it for my grandchildren? In fact, it can all be best summed up by an Iroquois saying, which is, make no decision unless you take into account the consequences of that decision on the next 7 generations. That one way of looking at things, I think, would make a tremendous difference on this earth.
And please bring us up to date on the dolphin tuna issue.
The tuna fleets are still killing dolphins. In fact, the so-called dolphin-free tuna, which is being marketed in the United States, to the credit of the companies that are responsible for this, which was a good thing, unfortunately it didn't save any dolphins. The Mexican tuna fleet continues to kill them, and there are American vessels that are involved with killing them also. And unfortunately, many Americans believe that it's okay to eat a tuna fish sandwich right now. But 150,000 dolphins continue to be killed by the tuna fleets. And in fact, there's a lot of talk about the impact on the dolphins. We should also look at the tuna. The tuna are disappearing. Fish are disappearing. We're overfishing. There's just not enough fish in the oceans to survive the kind of technology that we're utilizing against them.
The connection between the tuna and the dolphin, which I found fascinating, I don't think most people know. They swim together.
That's the reason that they fish on dolphins. They locate dolphins on the surface and herd them into a tight circle with helicopters and speedboats and seal bombs. These are small sticks of dynamite. And because they know that when the dolphins move in one direction, the tuna underneath will move in the same direction. Why this is, we don't know, but it is a fact. So the dolphins are used to locate and to catch the tuna. That's why there's so many of them are killed when they're caught in the tuna net. It's a situation where we really don't understand the biology, but we understand enough to exploit it.
Paul, one final question. If you, at this time, could reach someone out there that may be watching, what might you say to reach that person?
That the reality of our existence on this planet is such that we are interdependent and very much involved with the 30 million other citizen species that share this planet with us. And that if we've got to learn to humble ourselves and become equal citizen species, that we can no longer be so-called lords and masters of creation. We're just not ecologically intelligent enough to do that. And if we do that, if we humble ourselves and learn to live harmoniously with all these other species, then I think that we would no longer be alienated, that we would have a reason for living, we would have a foundation, we'd know where we're going, and we would be a part of something which is absolutely magnificent, which is the planet Earth and all that that conveys.
None of us can afford to remain ignorant of the conditions of our planet. If you want to report an environmental crime, or if you suspect environmental wrongdoing in your community, you can make a difference by calling our exclusive EcoSpies whistleblower hotline. It's 1-900-EcoSpies, ECOSPYS. All callers will remain anonymous, and proceeds will go to environmental causes. I'm Martin Sheen. Till next time, good night.